What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with the first episode of the new year for Mandy's Entertainment Reviews. So, for this episode, we are doing the American sports story, the Aaron Hernandez story. Um, I was so excited to see this one because I am a sports fan, and also I wanted to learn more of behind the scenes of what happened to Aaron Hernandez. Y'all got to keep in mind, all when Aaron did what he did, it was 2010, and social media and the news and all that stuff was not as powerful as it is today. So, for example, if a celebrity dies, like you will find out like maybe an hour after they actually transition. Whereas with Aaron Hernandez, it kind of took a couple days for everyone to find out what happened. As you guys know, how I do the format of this podcast is KWL. And if you weren't paying attention in first grade, it's know, want to know, and learned. So this show, it came on Hulu, and if you're old school and you have cable, it was also on FX. But I watched it the day after it aired on Hulu, and it was released in September 2024. It was a normal weekly TV show. It came on every Wednesday, I believe. So I would watch it on Thursday on Hulu, and it ran from like September 2024 to probably November 2024. And I did kind of calculate that this outline for this show would be done by Thanksgiving and Christmas. The thoughts, if you're not a sports fan, that's okay because it will still like make you pay attention. It'll catch your attention. And I did not really like the casting. It wasn't very close. But the cast did their thing. Like I think that the young lady who played Shayana Jenkins didn't really look like her because Shayana has these beautiful, I think, green eyes or something, and the young lady who played her had like regular brown eyes. The guy who played Aaron Hernandez didn't really look like Aaron, in my opinion. But they did a good job with casting his mom because it looked exactly like his mom and it looked exactly like Belichick. But the guy who played Cam Newton, I don't think they did a good job with casting when it come to there. And it gave more insight on Aaron's high school, college, and family dynamic. So we didn't know like Aaron Hernandez came from dysfunction. We didn't know how the relationship started with Shayana and Aaron when they first started dating because they knew each other since grade school. But I'm talking about when they first started the relationship, like when they started dating in high school and when they were going to college and when they had the baby. Like we didn't know all that part. So I'm gonna start with what I know. I do know that he was a professional football player. He was drafted by the Patriots in 2010. And I thought that was pretty cool because he's from the New England region. So that was basically his hometown team. So he basically stayed home to play for the Patriots. Um, he was a closeted gay man. I bet a lot of people didn't know that. Towards the end of his death, it was revealed that he did come out to his lawyer and his mom, and I think Shayana as well. I'm not sure, but I know for sure his lawyer was Jose Baez, and I think the reason why he hired them, and I didn't write this down, was that Jose Baez was the same lawyer that got Casey Anthony off. And if you don't know who Casey Anthony is, she is the Florida woman who killed her baby. And she is just as guilty as sin, but you know, we got a weird justice system. But in my heart, because I remember watching Nancy Grace and they said that she was acquitted of murder. But I know she did that shit. But we're not here for that. We're not here for that. We're talking about Aaron Hernandez. Um, he was engaged to Shayana Jenkins. They had a daughter, Avielle, I think that's her name. She was a pretty little girl. I've seen pictures of her, the actual daughter, not the daughter who on the show. Again, he played for the Patriots. He killed Shayana's sister's boyfriend. That's how he got to jail for murder. Well, one of the cases he killed, his name was Odin Lloyd. He had a brother who played football, and another thing I forgot to write down is DJ Hernandez. He also suffers from mental illness. He was in the news for um, basically having mental episodes. So I forgot to add that on. And his arrest was so major that he was cut from the Patriots, and Mr. Hernandez is no longer living because he committed suicide in prison. So we're going to move on to want to know. I wanted to know what was his relationship like with his parents. Again, it was 2010. The internet wasn't what it is today, where you can find anything online. Like growing up, when I was a teenager, like right around the time Michael Jackson died, to me, the internet felt very limited. So I didn't really have a lot to work with when I had to do research and stuff. So I wanted to know his relationship with his parents. I wanted to know more about his high school playing career. Like we have certain athletes that excel in their sport in high school. We know all about them. I was like in elementary school, so I don't know. Like I wanted to know like more about that. What made him so traumatized? Because a lot of the reason why somebody acts the way they act is because of trauma. I wanted to know more about his college years. I wanted to know more detail about his fiance, because the pictures I saw, they seemed like a really cute couple. I say that about every couple, but they seemed like a really cute couple. And I wanted to also know any miscellaneous stories about his time with the New England Patriots. So I'm going into learned. I always say this disclaimer: it may or may not answer any of the want to know questions, but it is facts that I learned. The first fact that I learned was mother had an affair with cousin's husband. So I guess that kind of covers the family dynamic, that they're apparently having sex with other family members' husbands. That is very messy. That gives cousin Faith and Terry vibes, in my opinion. His father passed away, and his father was the one that was very tough on him. His father in the show used the bad F word, that word that rhymes with maggot. So I guess that was a part of his traumatization. He was essayed by an uncle. Never knew that. His mother and his father were felons. They were involved in crimes. So that kind of adds on to the dynamic of the family. I really did not know this. This is not Cam Newton's story, but I legit did not know this. Cam Newton was his teammate. Now, when I think of Cam Newton, I'm thinking of the guy who dresses like Abraham Lincoln, who does his podcast. But we're going back to Cam Newton's playing days in college. He was his teammate. And also, I did not know that he was arrested for stealing a laptop. Why he stole a laptop, I'll never know. But he did steal a laptop. He was arrested. He battled his sexuality before prison, so there were parts in the show where he would go and hook up with guys. Some of these guys he'd meet offline. One of them was someone from his childhood, so that was shown in there. He was very generous. And what I mean by that is like he welcomed people in their homes. He, did nice things for them and all that stuff. He was supportive, like he supported Odin by going to his games with Shayana. So that was shown in there. It showed how they met Odin Lloyd, like their first time interacting with each other, and how they had football in common. He was extremely paranoid, and basically he was diagnosed with his brain was donated to science, and it showed CTE. So CTE does make you extremely paranoid. Um, I think this would be obvious, but I never knew this. So after Odin was killed by Aaron, Shayana and her sister was like beefing. And I understand, because your man killed my man and now I have nobody. I'm alone. He's gone. So it's completely understanding. And also in the end, I think this was inaccurate, but at the final scene of the show, it showed that Shayana had downgraded her lifestyle. But I saw, like, I think on Dr. Phil or something, she was spending a lot of money, of Aaron's money. I think it was like pension and social security for Aaron Hernandez. In the show, it showed that she was driving a 2002 Subaru Outback. but in reality, she was probably driving like a Mercedes or a Land Rover or something. So that's what I learned. I do give this show a 5 out of 5. I've always liked the American Stories, I guess that series is called. But before this one, it was the one about President Clinton, which was very good. And I think the one that started all of this was Gianni Versace, and then OJ. And those two were very good too. So they did a really good job with Aaron Hernandez. I give it a 5 out of 5 also because of the soundtrack. Now, also, you guys got to keep in mind this is 2010 to 2013, and it was all about pop and techno, Lady Gaga, Flo Rida. It was that era. So the music, well, also when Aaron was a kid, some of the music from there, which is basically my era as well, the music was just on point and bringing memories back. 2010, when Aaron was like popping in the NFL and stuff, I was 15, so I remember some of that music being played at like school dances and stuff. It's perfect for any sports fan. If you like sports documentaries or sports shows or anything regarding to sports, this is perfect. And let's see, it added sports world figures and stuff. So reactions from Stephen A. Smith was in there when Aaron Hernandez died, ESPN, all that stuff. So it made it more real when you bring in ESPN, Fox Sports One, and just, sports figures in general. So that does wrap up for the Aaron Hernandez review. It is still on Hulu. It is about 8 episodes. Very good to watch. I do recommend. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And the next episode is The Honorable Shine. Stay tuned.